What's up, everyone? Welcome back to my channel. I'm Misty Murray, and if you're new here, welcome. If you're returning, thank you for coming back. But I am the founder of Arrow Consultants. I am the creator of the Microsoft 365 case management system, and I am the co-creator of the Arrow 365 practice management system. So what we're going to talk about today is the Civil Litigation Workshop that I just finished with my students. I want to talk about the very first lesson that we did in that Civil Litigation Workshop, which was really just talking about how to effectively be a paralegal. I mean, we learn how to sort of be this paralegal throughout experience, or we go to school and we get that education, but there is a lot that we learn on the job. And so as a byproduct of that, we're forced to learn these things on the job, so we're not really coming into them with experience. So with my Civil Litigation Workshop, I really wanted to teach these practical solutions to being a paralegal and almost this technique, if you will, for being an effective paralegal for the attorneys that you're working for. Regardless if they have systems set up for you, you can go into it with systems of your own and sort of spearhead that revolution and make sure things run like a fine oiled machine. So if this sounds like something that you're interested in hearing today and learning about that very first lesson, it was actually a really important one that we learned in the Civil Litigation Workshop, then stick around and let's dive into things today. Okay, so the very first lesson that I taught my Civil Litigation Workshop students was that for every action, there is a reaction. For every single thing that is done in a law firm, there should be this sort of reaction from you in terms of emails that you receive, paperwork that you receive, telephone calls that you receive. You're involved in all of those things for a reason. And so there's no reason for you not to be effective in being part of those discussions. I mean, if the attorneys that I am working with are CCing me on communications in which they are scheduling a deposition that we are actually taking, then I know that I have to get that deposition notice ready. I know that I have to get it on the calendar. I know that I have to get the court reporter booked. I know I have to do all of these things and get all of them coordinated. And so those are all actions that I have to take. Those are my reactions to the attorney's actions of scheduling a deposition. Now, in terms of there being all of these actions to the reactions, or all of the reactions to the actions, documenting is a big part of that solution and being able to remain proactive in this crazy legal industry. Document. Now, when we talk about things in the medical malpractice industry, and talk about litigating those cases, there's a saying in that industry that if it wasn't documented, it didn't happen. And the same goes for paralegals. The same goes for law. If you didn't document it, how do you know that it happened? How do you know that you have it? How do you know that you sent it? So documenting is a huge part of the solution to creating effective systems. It's a huge part of all of those reactions to the actions that the attorneys are doing. Documenting is central to case management. It is central to keeping a proactive mind in a reactive industry. And it is most certainly central to your sanity throughout this case, throughout this matter that is being litigated. You have to be able to have a system for documenting things, documenting all of those reactions to the actions of the attorneys, documenting all of the things that need to be accomplished in your case, in the litigation, in every phase of your litigation, documenting all of the deadlines for all of those actions and all of those reactions so that you know exactly when to calendar them. Now, one of the things that we talked about in the Civil Litigation Workshop was, what kind of paralegal are you? I mean, think about it. What kind of paralegal are you? And that may be really difficult for you to answer, but are you a task-based task-based paralegal. And that's what I'm finding a lot of, that there are a lot of task-based paralegals out there. And if you're task-based, it means that you're always waiting for the next task to be assigned to you. You are not being proactive, you are not taking initiative, and you are just waiting for assignments to fall on your lap or for them to be assigned to you or presented to you. And being a task-based paralegal may work in the very beginning, but it won't work for you in the long haul. It won't work for that big career of yours. So I tell people that don't just be that task-based paralegal. Be a solution-based paralegal. Be the answer to those problems. And in order to do that, documenting is going to be a huge part of that. Being able to stay ahead of the chaos, documenting is going to be a huge part of that solution for you. So in the civil litigation workshop, some of the things that I prepared for my students was a litigation checklist, which one of my students called a game changer. He said that once he got that litigation checklist and he really understood that general litigation assembly line as we went through it in the workshop, that it became this game changer for him because he knew where he belonged in litigation. And so he wasn't just a task-based paralegal anymore. He was now a problem solver. He was a project manager. He was a solution-based paralegal because he always knew where he belonged. Some of the other things that I provided was a deadlines cheat sheet, an actions cheat sheet, and just a way for you to really step back and analyze every part of the litigation process in your own jurisdiction, in your own environment, and really determine where you fit in every part of that civil litigation and every phase that goes along with that. And so speaking about that phase, we really broke it down, into the pleadings phase, written discovery phase, oral discovery phase, dispositive motions, and trial. Now, we didn't really go into trial because that in and of itself is a workshop all on its own, but we really took a deep dive into dispute resolution, into mediation, into arbitration. We really took a deep dive into document production, how to assemble them, how to effectively index them and get them prepared for deposition exhibits or trial exhibits down the road. We went through all of that in the civil litigation workshop. And if that's something that you're interested in doing, I will have a link in the description box below for you to go ahead and sign up for my email list or my wait list, whichever it is that I go ahead and create for you, so that you know the next time I'm going to launch the civil litigation workshop, because we're definitely going to relaunch it. It was really great to see all of the students and to work with everyone and to see the reactions of a lot of them who really didn't get this sort of education while they were going through paralegal school. They hadn't yet got it on the job. And so a lot of the civil litigation workshop was really about technique. And that's a lot of what it's about. What sort of paralegal am I? What sort of technique am I going to develop in order to be that solution-based, project managing, fairy paralegal that they want, that they hired, that that you can be. So one of the things that I do is I always keep sort of this checklist of the milestones that must take place in every single phase of my case. And I know that once every single one of those milestones have taken place, then I can go on to the next phase of my case. If everything has been done in written discovery, then I know that it's good to go on to oral discovery. We are going to have effective depositions because we have written discovery completed already. And the attorneys, I'm not waiting for them to assign me tasks because I know exactly what it is that I need to do. And so my attorneys that I work with will sometimes say, well, she can read my mind. I don't know how she does it, but she can read my mind. And I can't actually read their mind, but I sure do act like I can. And I'm able to do that because I am able to anticipate the needs of the case, anticipate the needs of the attorneys, anticipate the needs of the clients, because, well, one, I've been doing this for a really long time. But two, I have developed these techniques over time that have helped me to become a really efficient, productive paralegal for the attorneys that I work for. So indexing was a big part of that, and documenting and indexes were one of the things that I provided as part of the Civil Litigation Workshop as well. If you would like a copy of any of those indexes, feel free to go to my second website that I just created, a365.legal, and you can download any one of those indexes. Now, those indexes are actually very powerful because they are formatted Excel indexes. And so you can actually use them to upload to Microsoft List, attach them to SharePoint, and use them across any device at any time for finding things in your cases, for finding documents in your document production, for effectively using those things during digital depositions. So head over to a365.legal, and download those indexes if you'd like. And again, if you want to be part of the next launch of the Civil Litigation Workshop, then make sure that you head over to arrowconsultants.solutions, my very first website, or you can sign up using probably a link that I'll put in the description box below. All right, guys, I've talked your ear off enough, but I had so much fun in the Civil Litigation Workshop. We talked about so much, so many practical things, so many techniques to being a really, truly effective paralegal in today's digital environment. So that's really important. But just remember that for every single action, there is a reaction from you. It's not just about scheduling a deposition. It's about preparing a notice and booking the court reporter and perhaps the meeting space or the digital space and getting together those exhibits, getting it on the calendar. There are so many things involved in just a simple action from the attorney, and so many reactions that come from you and out of that. So remember that, and you will be a truly effective paralegal. Just step back, take a look at everything that it is that you do, and figure out how you can streamline some of those day-to-day processes. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you liked today's video, please give it a thumbs up, because it does help to support me, this channel, and it gets this information out to more paralegals. Of course, good luck to you and all that you do, because this crazy legal industry needs an amazing, effective, efficient, productive paralegal just like you. Have an amazing rest of your day. Have a wonderful work day, work week, awesome weekend ahead of you, and I will see you guys back here on the next one. Mwah. Bye, guys.